Rosie, you're so mean.
What?
Why would you do that?
What? Bailey?
Come on now.
What do you want?
I heard this from the old lady next door, but you went and took your really good-looking boyfriend home with you and showed Mom and Dad? Why did you never tell me about that? Jesus! If you're bringing your boyfriend over with you, then you should tell me too. I have to be there in order to see if he'll be a good fit for me or not.
That's the reason I didn't tell you crap.
What?
Listen, Bailey. I don't go out finding men I like and want to be in a relationship with just to bring them around you and have you take them. And by the way, you are not in the place to be texting me about anything at all right now.
Why not?
Oh, don't tell me you've forgotten about the fact that 4 years ago you stole my husband from me. You would never be able to forget that, right?
Yeah, I haven't forgotten about that.
And Mom has told you plenty of times now that you are not allowed around their house ever again. But each time she tells you that, you just show up more and more frequently with that stupid, emotionless smile on your face.
And what about that?
I have to go back to Mom and Dad's house often in order to find out if you've brought another man over to the house or not. If I can't go there anymore, I won't know who you're with. Are you kidding me?
All of the men you bring in are always so amazing. But the thing is, all of those men deserve to be with me, a far more wonderful and attractive woman. And actually, all of the men you've brought home with you in the past have always fallen in love with me, right? I've always loved having those men fall for me like that, and it's become sort of an addiction now.
Huh? What are you talking about? I've only ever had one man that you stole from me, and that was my previous husband.
What are you talking about? There was the classroom president you were with in middle school, and the leader of that club you were in back in high school. And in college, you had that boyfriend who was a model, right? I liked him.
Wait, all of those guys were never my boyfriends.
What?
I'm sure to those around us we looked like we were a thing because we'd always hang out with each other all the time. But the only reason I was ever around the class president in middle school all those times is because I was the vice president. And the reason I was always talking with the leader of that club in high school is because I was the manager for all his events. As for that model in college, he actually did end up asking me out, but at the time I was already dating the man I would one day call my husband, who is currently my ex. So I had to turn that model down.
What? Are you serious?
Well, at this point, all of that is history and doesn't really need to be brought up anymore. But what I know about you that needs to be talked about is all of those men you've stolen from other women. And the fact that you feel like it's a great thing that you've stolen so many men from be it me or any other woman is a huge problem. You need to grow up a little, Bailey.
What? For some reason, I'm getting even more fired up now.
What?
Telling me that everyone else besides your ex had no close relationships to you at all makes me upset, actually. It makes me feel like you're trying to make me feel bad about everything I've done. So I'm going to make an announcement right now. That man that you're with right now, I'm going to steal him from you whether you like it or not. That'll show you.
Ugh. By the way, whatever happened to my ex-husband that you stole from me? You know, the man you cried and begged for days and weeks who had been working for a very large company and had all the features you liked? What happened with him? Did you guys already break up?
Oh, right. For some reason, the flame just went cold. After just 2 months, he and I broke up.
I see.
That's why I'm not even going to attempt to hold back as I go for your current boyfriend.
Then let me say this. What? If you think you can take him, then give it your best shot.
Huh?
I'm going to tell him everything about you right now so that he knows what to expect. I'll let him know that you maliciously try and steal all of my men from me, even those that aren't in a relationship with me, and then move on to the next man that I'm around when you get bored with the previous.
Did you just say I'm maliciously doing this?
So you have a better way to describe yourself?
There's no way a beautiful, sexy woman like myself is malicious.
Well, whatever way you think of yourself, consider meeting him to be a very hard challenge. This previous time was probably his last for a while, and I'm not sure when the next time will be when he comes around to Mom and Dad's house. So it's better that you not even try going after him. Also, I'm going to show him all these texts you've sent me so he understands that this is serious.
Huh?
There is not going to even be a chance of you stealing him from me this time.
Huh?
Bye now.
Rosie, hello. How many months has it been since we last chatted? Well, anyway, I've gone and taken your boyfriend. Again. The fact that you haven't said anything to me about this yet means you never even noticed. By the way, your boyfriend George is frickin' awesome. I went to your apartment since I saw George going in there. All I had to do was knock on the door saying who I was, and he let me right inside. And right then and there, he and I got into it, and I got to have myself a little taste of what's to come. Thank you for that wonderful meal. And guess what? George is so far the most handsome-looking and high-spec man that I have seen. And I've recently been really thinking about settling down soon. Since he's the perfect man for me, I'm going to take him and get married. Sorry for stealing yet another one of your men.
What the hell? Did you tell me that you just stole my boyfriend and that you're going to marry him now? Bailey?
Oh, good morning, Rosie. Thank you so much for once again bringing me another high-spec man to take.
What are you talking about? Especially when there's no chance you've come across my boyfriend.
But right now, George and I just stopped at the courthouse and dropped off our marriage forms.
George?
That's right. We just made sure to get rid of that apartment you had always been staying at with him, and now he's moving in with me. After all, he's going to be my husband now.
Wait, who the hell is he?
He's my new husband.
That's not what I'm asking. Who the hell is George?
Like I've said, he's your now ex-boyfriend.
But my boyfriend goes by the name George. And he's not even in the US currently.
He's not?
What, did Mom never tell you anything about him? She told me you continued to barrage her with questions about him, and so she had to give you his name to get you to shut up. Oh, I get it now. You got the name George and George mixed up, I think.
Huh? Wait, but George, wasn't he living with you in that apartment I was just at?
Did you go out to Havensfield to get that apartment?
That's right.
Well, I moved out of that apartment a year ago, and I've never been back there.
Huh? You moved out of there?
Which means I haven't been living there for a year now.
Huh?
I'm going to assume that George guy moved into that apartment after I had moved away and is most likely American, right?
Where are you right now, Rosie?
Overseas.
Huh? You're overseas?
I'm back in George's hometown with his family. The reason that I was ever able to meet a guy like him in the first place is because he came to our state to do some business with one of his company's customers, and then had to go back home after a few months. So before he had to head back home, I told him that I'd be coming with him, And so I quit my job and flew out of the States with him. I just found myself a job here, actually, and so things are finally starting to calm down for me again.
What the heck? How dare you get a foreign boyfriend like that? You're so mean!
He and I just got married a month ago, so you can call him my husband now.
What? Does that mean a while back when you brought him over to Mom and Dad's house?
He came over to their house before needing to go back home and asked Mom and Dad for their approval in him marrying me.
Before he needed to go back home? So that really means...
That's right. Right now I'm texting you from our house that is not in the US.
Are you serious?
It's funny that you just thought you'd gotten the best of me again and even married him that quickly. Well, congrats for that.
What the hell? I only wanted him because I thought that he was yours. There's no reason for me to have gone through all this work to steal him now. Rosie! There's just some random people living in Mom and Dad's house right now. Where's Mom at?
What? You went to that house again?
I did. God. This last month has already been too much for me to handle. George ended up having another woman who he was engaged to at the time. And so that fiancée of his ended up making me pay for their wedding that had to be canceled and a settlement. Everything's been so hard for me, and to be honest, I have no more money. I came back to Mom and Dad's house with the hopes of getting Mom to help me pay for all of this. But as I walked up to the front door, there were random people living inside the house.
If you want to know where Mom and Dad are, they are here with me.
What?
Mom and Dad are living with us in our house now.
Huh? Do you mean... Does that mean that Mom and Dad are overseas now too?
That's right. They went and got all the paperwork done that they needed to do, got their visas to come and live here, went to a language school for 3 months, and then helped us buy a brand new property here. They started doing all of this once they both got fed up with you always causing issues for them, and so they've been preparing for this for over a year now. And finally, a month or so ago, everything worked out the way we had all planned, and they were both able to move out here.
No frickin' way. You all just left me here in the US? How the hell could my own family do something like that to me?
Listen here, Bailey. Ever since you stole my husband from me 5 years ago, this whole family has hated you. Mom, Dad, and myself. You were even told that you were being disowned, yet you continued to go to Mom and Dad for everything, acting like nothing had happened. Seriously, how many times would they have had to tell you you're not family to them anymore before you got the hint?
I never said that was okay.
Nobody said you had the right to say it was okay or not.
What the hell, Rosie?
I think that the 3 of us had been too kind to you after what you did. We told you that you were not a part of the family anymore, yet we continued to talk with you through text and such. The only reason we've really been continuing to talk with you is to try and prevent you from getting too crazy. Had we blocked you 5 years ago, we were afraid you might lash out and try to kill us. But by staying in contact with you, we seem to have only made things worse.
Rosie?
Today, Mom, Dad, and myself are going to the store to get new phones and new SIM cards for here.
What?
I thought I'd just let you know that before we get our new numbers.
Hold on a sec. I got a divorce from George. There was no hope in trying to rely on him for money and things since he lost it all to his fiancée.
I see.
Most of our distant family is on the other side of the US now, and most of them won't even talk to me anymore. So, I would like to come with you.
I don't want Mom or Dad to have to suffer through any more of your crap with you.
You're saying I caused them to suffer?
That's right, Bailey.
What?
That's the whole reason why I worked with them to get them to move here. We all want to be free from you now, so don't you dare get in our way.
Rosie!
I'm blocking you now. Bye forever. What happened with my little sister after that is pretty hard for me to know specifically since I blocked her. But luckily my mom was able to get in touch with that fiancé of George's that ended up being caught in Bailey's mayhem and has been talking with her ever since. From what she's told my mom, Bailey ended up going to work at a strip club for a few weeks to start making some money for the settlement. But in between working shifts there, she would go throughout the city collecting cans and bottles to get dimes back for at the local supermarket. However, she too wasn't able to get a hold of Bailey anymore after a while, most likely due to Bailey's phone breaking or her not being able to pay her phone bills. And only a month later, we got one last bit of information about her through a rumor, and it's not great. The last of her that was seen was of her getting into the back of a black van with 2 other men, and then it driving off to never be seen in the city again. But a week after that happened, some money came into the fiancé's account from Bailey to finish off paying her settlement, so she still has to be alive somewhere. I'm just glad that she paid off all that settlement and hopefully will not cause any more trouble for anyone now. As for my parents and I, we're all out living in a very lovely villa out in Spain now with my new husband. We ended up getting this place with the help of my parents as they were getting ready to move here, and so far it's fit the 4 of us in it comfortably. Both my parents are going to some more classes again to improve their Spanish even more. And I was able to get myself a job working for an American company here in Spain, where I can use both my English and Spanish skills to work. Luckily, George never had to really talk or see my sister in person, because after showing him the text she had sent me a while back, along with the story about her stealing my ex-husband, George said he'd slap her across the face the moment she came near him. And based off how large my husband's arms are due to all the competitive bouldering he does, he'd probably end up killing her with one slap. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.